This was going to be a review of the Asics Gel Cumulus 27, but it got me confused a little bit because I already have the Gel Nimbus 27 and I'm always confused as to where this shoe fits, especially after the Novablast 5. It's all getting confusing. I won't lie to you, I am thoroughly confused. Now, the reason why I thought the Cumulus 25, when I compared it to the Gel Nimbus 25, why it had its place, it felt like a closer to the ground version of the Nimbus, whilst maintaining the same technology, ground feel. It was cheaper, it was lighter, and that's the reason I kind of went, oh, the Cumulus has a place. If you don't have time, let's go to this one. To watch the rest of this review, here is the verdict. Asics, well done on the Cumulus. It's definitely made for certain people. But here is my take. Buy this one. Buy the Novablast 5, done. Be done with it. This is it. The Novablast 5 is the shoe you should get. The 3 things that you need to know about the Cumulus 27. The price here in the UK, it's £140. 135 for the Novablast 5. In terms of the weight, the 27 actually isn't too bad because the Nimbus is 328 grams in my 9.5 UK, whereas the Cumulus comes in at 297. But again, 280 grams in my 9.5 UK. The Novablast 5. Anyway, let's talk about stack heights. Now here, I don't really like to compare stack heights. They mean different things depending on the foam, depending on the runner. But all you need to know is 39 millimeters at the back, 31 at the front, giving you that 8 millimeter drop. Okay, now let's review this shoe independently on its own, but also tell you why the Novablast 5 is the one, right? I want to start from the top and working our way down. What I do think is nice, and it's uniform across all Asics shoes, is the heel. Very well padded, you can't fault that. Very good padding. And the heel tab, and it's quite synonymous, similar to the heel tab. Actually, let me show you here. The heel tab that these have, it's got a thickness to it that's really, really good. Same. And it's the same with the Novablast 5. They're all similar. They're daily trainers plush, and I really like that. So not really anything to pick at. In terms of structure, absolutely. That's gonna give your foot a good hold, combining with that cushion I just talked about. You can't really fault it. They've done a really good job on the heel. I wanna talk to you about the tongue. Let's go to this one. The tongue is gusseted, it's attached on the inside, and I absolutely love that. The reason why I love it, especially in combination with on the tongue over there, you're gonna be able to see that it actually does a very good job of keeping that tongue in place. I really like that. However, the tongue on the Novablast 5 does the same. It does the same. It's got the gusseting. Absolutely. It also has perforations on that tongue, allowing for that breathability. Now, don't get me wrong. I can see perforations on that nowhere near as much as this. Long story short, I know I said it's going to be independent. Novablast 5. Don't waste your time. Novablast 5. All right, the next thing I want to talk about is the upper. Now the upper, well done. I think it's a great upper. I think it's highly breathable. The texture, the design is great. But I'm sorry, you're going to have to forgive me. I just want to be straight to the point with these reviews and give you proper value. I don't know why you would buy a Cumulus 27 when, bang, you can get a Novablast 5. This is a much better upper. The only thing that the Cumulus 27 has over this is the lacing system. Now, I promise myself I'm not going to be petty and complain about small irrelevant things. Well, allow me to show you. You see the lacing system here versus this one? I don't like these little spaghetti noodle things at the bottom of here. I like it's simple, basic laces. It's got holes in it. They put laces in that. Done. That's the one thing the Cumulus has over this one. However, I'd still buy the Novablast 5, and that's that. All right, let's carry on before I get worked up. Right, midsoles. Depending on what you like, this actually is the key thing. This is the main differentiator here for which shoe you should get. Now, depending on what you're after, if you're after ground feel, much more minimalistic, the Cumulus 27 is going to be that thing. 39 millimeters at its highest, 31 at the front. Whereas this one has been boosted up a little bit. The stack height on this is 42 at the back, 34 at the front. That gives you a much plushier ride. But can I please just say, I don't care what numbers say. The Novablast 5 is a much more exciting, much more fun ride compared to the Cumulus. In fact, it's a much more versatile in terms of return of energy and comfort than the Nimbus 27. As a foam, I find this to be much more of an exciting shoe to run in. So, however, if you're after a ground feel, closer to the ground, the Cumulus is going to be the shoe for you. All right, in terms of the outsole, quite a significant change. The Cumulus 27 has introduced this thing called Fluid Ride, right? Let me demonstrate. When you look at Asics shoes here, they do this thing called AHA rubber, where you can see the midsole, and then you've got this tougher rubber there. The Asics high abrasion rubber, right? You can see it there. Good. And I'll show you the same in the Novablast 5. Boom. That different color there is a tougher rubber that protects the midsole. What Asics have then done in the Cumulus 27 is introduce this fluid ride. If you look at the shoe from the side on a profile, you're going to see that there is this thick white rubber that forms part of that outsole. Now that is actually part of the ride of the shoe, because it's not just a thin layer, it is the whole thing covering the outsole. Bang, you should be able to see that there. And you're going to be able to see that there isn't that AHA rubber. It's not a concern in terms of wear and tear, because you start thinking, well, it's the midsole being exposed. No, it's not. I've ran, I want to say 25K in the Cumulus 27. I'm training for a marathon, and I did a long run over the weekend in this shoe. And I just wanted to see what it was like. It was the first time I ran without a watch. It was the first time I ran without tracking it. I'm going to do a series on this in a second on my channel about how metrics and Strava and Garmin has stolen joy out of just running. I'll touch on that in a little bit, and I'm starting to build the content for that. But anyway, 25K done in this shoe as a long run in preparation for Boston Marathon in this shoe. And I have to tell you that it is an okay shoe. The whole reason why I've just said that is the outsole itself does two things. Is it grippy enough? It was. I didn't run over any challenging terrain. I was running on pavements throughout. And also in terms of preserving the midsole, where you can see that thing is full coverage for whatever it is. And it works really well. So there's not really much to talk about. The one thing that I think is worth highlighting is the run itself feels flat. It's a bad word, but there isn't anything exciting about this foam, about this shoe in terms of how it runs. When I compare it to the extreme side of how plushy the Gel Nimbus 27 is, or the versatility of the Novablast 5, I think Asics have nailed it in their lineup. When they give you the Super Blast 2, it's the best in class. Arguably the Metaspeed Sky Paris series, best in class. When you have the Nimbus line, personally, the 25, best in class. The Novablast 5, contender for one of the best shoes recently released. It's why I'm confused about where the Cumulus sits. Simple as that. There will be some people that will love this shoe, but for me, if you go by anything that I say on my channel, no brainer. You either get the extreme side, the Nimbus 27, or the Novablast 5. I'll see you in a bit.